Hey guys, my name is SJ Kim. I am the founder and senior editor at VR and Fun. Thank you guys for sticking around. I hope you guys had a very good 2 days here learning about some of the cool upcoming VR technology experiences and games. Today I just wanted to quickly talk about the longevity of the VR industry. So the question lies, what does it take? Oh, sorry. Whoop. There you go. The question lies, what does it take for the VR industry to succeed? And as media, being a member of the media focused on the VR industry, I have the daily opportunity to gauge people's interest in VR. In our current state, the public is seeing VR as more of a fad rather than a technology that can withstand the test of time. And this is due to a multitude of reasons. Some of the weaknesses I see from a media's perspective is the lack of meaningful content available for VR. Consumers are also limited to VR hardware due to cost. And the third weakness is the lack of graphical performance on mobile VR headsets. We hear from both consumers and our readers the challenges of adopting this technology on a daily basis. People believe that there's not enough meaningful content available yet in VR, and many new games we mentioned seems to be forgotten in a week or a month's time. We also hear the phrase, it's time to dust off the VR headset used on a regular basis. And people are limited to VR hardware use due to cost and affordability. While there are more than 5 million Samsung Gear VR headsets sold, there are only a fraction of that number sold on the HTC Vive and Oculus Rift. So the majority of people trying VR experiences today do so through the mobile platform. And the downside of mobile VR technology is the lack of graphical performance. We aren't able to duplicate PC-powered performance on the mobile platform just yet. Mobile VR headsets are vastly popular for its untethered qualities, but lack the graphic performance found on PC-powered VR headsets. So how do we solve this problem? Well, we need to create meaningful content, first of all, and also we need to improve our technology, and we need VR to be more affordable to the general public. For meaningful content, we must make good first impressions for people trying out VR for the first time. There are notions out there that experiencing VR makes you queasy due to motion sickness, and we know negative notions fly quickly around social media. To contest that stereotype, we must put forth only good content on VR platform. Also, VR content should last more than an hour or two. There are currently hundreds of VR games in the marketplace that can be finished or beaten within less than 1 hour. There is no meaning behind purchasing VR games like that. Companies such as Bethesda are working towards creating VR content that can be played in length, such as Fallout 4 VR and Skyrim VR. For those of you who's played these games before, you know it takes longer than 40, 50 hours you can put into the game itself, which is kind of worthy in the content that a lot of the outside consumers are trying to look into for VR. And consumers are also looking for quality content that entices them to want to play instead of sampling VR content here and there. Essentially, we need VR experiences that keep users active. We also need to make advancements in our current VR technology for the longevity of the industry. For us to entice a market to change and adopt a new type of technology, we need to provide a good reason to do so. In the near future, we must provide more powerful computing performance from standalone VR headsets as well. And on top of that, we must work on untethered solutions. Microsoft, for example, has teamed up with the likes of HP, Acer, Dell, and more to create standalone VR headsets for the Windows platform, which is coming in the near future. Another area we need to focus on is higher resolution and pixel density. Oculus chief scientist Michael Abrish said last year at Connect that we should expect to see 4K by 4K per eye in the next 5 years. Currently, we view VR in 1200 by 1080 panel resolution. And he also mentioned a great quote, "There will be no sharp lines between VR and reality." And that's kind of what we need to work towards. Affordability will also be critical for the longevity of the VR industry. Prices need to come down so it's not catered to only a select group of people who can afford the technology. Good computer plus a PC-powered VR headset usually costs over $1,500 right now. And that's out of the range of a lot of consumers these days. I have friends that worry about spending $10 for a game right now that's on sale on Steam. They want to pick and choose the right ones. And so for VR, we need to put forth the great VR content. And prices need to drop to see new waves of consumers adopting the VR ecosystem into their daily lives. And so breaking the mold. We need to break the mold that VR is just another fad. Once we have enough quality VR content and prove our VR technology to be more affordable, that's when I believe consumers will start to see massive adoption of the technology. The word of mouth through our digital platform have been powerful thus far, but consumers need the ability to try out in lengths and time. Consumers also need the option to get familiar with VR to understand the usability of the technology. With less than 1 million PC-powered VR headsets in the hands of consumers today, we've yet to see the influx in consumer adoption that we're all waiting for. We need to be able to break through the mold of it being the next 3D TV fad. And so, quickly, where might we be in 3 years' time? As media between the companies and industries and consumers, I kind of have a little bit of different insight of how I see perspectives, and this is kind of just my opinion. So I think in the next 3 years, we'll see about 10 to 30 million high-end VR headsets in the consumer market. Also, we'll see an inclusion of powerful and untethered HMDs. Like mentioned earlier, TP-Cast of sorts are adding these peripheral devices onto HTC Vive headsets to make it a little bit more easy and a little bit more robust for people to start using. Being able to interact with some of the top leading experts in the field, I believe that we'll be seeing some incredible changes for the VR market. And I just wanted to quickly talk about this subject because it is kind of important as we move as a community. And moving forth, we need to put out that high quality standard for the consumers to start adopting, which has not yet occurred. And that was kind of my quick presentation. If you guys have